It's 2023, and for the last 20 or so years, there's been a hidden pandemic. This pandemic is different. It's preventing you from living the life you want, and ultimately taking you out of the present moment with your friends and your loved ones. This pandemic is a lack of focus. And it seems that the problem is only becoming increasingly worse, with experts now concluding we have collectively dropped our attention spans. So, how can you fix it? How can you make it so that you can actually sit down and do the difficult task? Just imagine how much further you would be in life if you could do those difficult tasks on demand. The tasks that push the needle forward in your business, the tasks that give you better grades at university, and the tasks that allow you to live the life of your dreams. Attention is the latest and most valued commodity. And what are you doing with yours? Hi, my name is Alex Demore. I'm a health performance coach, and I help high performers find their zone by optimizing their health. Now, the three main factors that are preventing you from being able to develop laser-like focus is distraction, lack of clarity, and bad practice. To solve these issues, it's two-part. We need to first understand how focus works, and we also need to provide solutions for each three factors. So let's start with the first one. The first thing is we need to understand what is focus. So you want to start thinking of focus like a muscle. The more you train it, the more you routinely train it, the stronger it becomes. Now, if you're in an environment in which you are constantly task switching, which is often the case in today's world, you've got your phone, you've got your notifications, your friend or partner comes in or whatever, then you are switching between tasks. Every time you are disturbed, you prevent your brain from operating at its full capabilities on the given task. So I switch from a task on my laptop to then replying to a client. I'm leaving what we can refer to as attention residue on that task on the laptop. And you can explore this idea more in Cal Newport's book, Deep Work. Great book. But the main principle here is you want to prevent task switching, and you want to prevent that attention residue by staying on one task. So the longer you can focus, the more you're going to tap into your cognitive capabilities. You can often refer to this, or some people refer to this as entering flow state. And when this occurs, when your brainwaves change to this state, time begins to dissolve. You've probably felt this firsthand when you're doing a creative task, so say drawing or editing or some sort, and you forget the time, or you're really deep into a task and you just forget completely, right? That's entering a flow state, and things just come very naturally to you. You don't really have to think too much. You're in what we call flow, hence the name flow state. And you can tap into that on a consistent basis by going through what we're going to show you now. So remember, the antithesis to focus, the antithesis to entering deep flow states is distraction. So let's tackle distraction first. We can tackle it into two main points: distractions in your environment and distractions in your digital environment. So firstly, your physical environment. Make sure you're not going to be disturbed. There's no background noises. There are no people walking by. You're not going to be disturbed for at least 90 minutes to get some deep work in. If you've got people walking by, if you've got building work outside, get some noise cancelling headphones, some good ones. Use some binaural beats if you have to. Make sure your desk is clear and clutter-free like you see me. One laptop, one task, one objective. Very simple, very clear what to do. Now, continuing that onto your digital environment, make sure, of course, your phone is outside, switched off in another room. Install app blockers onto your phone, install YouTube or app blockers onto your laptop, and make sure you only have one tab open. Having several tabs open also reflects on your brain. So if you've got several programs running, several tabs opening, then it's going to slow down the RAM on that computer. Even on a lovely M1 Mac like this, it's not going to be as optimal as having just one task open. It's the same for your brain. If you're having several tasks in your head, if you're doing several things at once, it's going to slow your cognitive capabilities down. So once you have audited your physical environment and your digital environment, you have what I call created your solitude. Remember, you don't lack focus, you lack solitude. Okay, number two is lack of clarity. So you can have the very best productivity system and the fancy apps, but if you don't understand what it is you need to do consistently with one clear objective, you're going to procrastinate, because procrastination often stems from when things become unclear or difficult. It can also stem from when you're trying to avoid a certain emotion, like sadness or anxiety, so you distract yourself by going on YouTube. But for this video, we're going to stick to the first two former. So lack of clarity. So when things become unclear or difficult, the solution for this is to get yourself a productivity system so you can have some clarification what it is you need to do every day. Now, if you haven't, go and watch this video here my simple but effective productivity system using the GTD method. That's going to give you clarity and organization of what you need to do. So in a nutshell with that, you want to also plan your day the night before. Practice deep work in the mornings only, so schedule your meetings, your client meetings in the PM. And you also want to ensure you have no brain fog, because you can have, again, the best systems, you can have these tools that I'm giving you, but if you've got brain fog from systemic inflammation or inflammation in the gut, then you need to look into your sleep and your nutrition. And this is why some people also like to fast in the mornings when they're getting their deep work done. They feel like it helps them focus in. This can be two-part, as of low inflammation in the gut means very little brain fog, but also because fasting is a type of hormetic stress, so it releases certain hormones like cortisol, which helps focus you in. So it can be useful to use this as a tool. So when it comes to lack of clarity, just to summarize, you need to have a system that creates clarity. You need to have a productivity system. You need to be planning your days the night before. And that leads us on to the last bit, right? So bad practice, third point. What do we mean by bad practice? So practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. If you are practicing deep work with only 15-minute work blocks, with all these distractions and a poor physical workspace, then how do you expect to be able to get good practice in? Because your brain repeats what it learns, so it's more likely to repeat what it learns. It's also more likely to repeat the bad things as well, not just the good things. So don't do what you do not wish to become. If you don't want to be the person that can only focus for 15 minutes and has to task switch because that's how they've trained their brain, stop doing the behaviors that encourage that. So that comes back to auditing your physical and digital environment again. So what I'm getting at here is you're not going to get this straight away. You need to start practicing your focus muscles and build them up. And you can start with just 30 minutes with a 5 to 10 minute break, Pomodoro technique, and you can build your way up to 50 minutes with a 10 to 15 minute break. Some people like to do, I know like Andrew Huberman loves to do like 90-minute work blocks. If you want to work up to that, that's fine, but of course don't expect to go from 0 to 100. You need to practice this stuff on a consistent basis to build the results up. You don't go to the gym several times or even for several weeks and expect some results. It takes months. And it's similar to with focus. It's going to take a few weeks for you to really start to be able to deeply focus. So to summarize, you need to cut out distractions completely, physically, digitally. You need to set up your environment so that you're more likely to do one single task. You need to look at clarifying your day and clarifying your tasks beforehand and preempting that. And you also need to practice perfectly. So you need to be progressively overloading your focus muscles on a routine basis to see results. Now, if you're still struggling with this, do let me know. And guys, whatever you want to see next, comment down below, and I will see you in the next video.